Hey guys, it's Kenny here from the Fantasy Golf Degenerates and the FantasyFanatics.com, bringing you my cash game cornerstones for the Shell Houston Open. Before we get into the Shell Houston Open, let's go over my picks from last week. Last week was rough, I got to admit. In my 25 or so cash game cornerstone videos, last week was the first time I only got 2 of 4 through. A poor week in a poor field. My 4 picks last week were Grant McDowell, Luke List, Chris Kirk, and Nick Taylor. G-Mac, he missed the cut in epic fashion as he bogeyed his final 3 holes after the rain delay on Friday to miss the cut by 1. Luke List started slowly, then picked it up in the middle rounds, only to lose spots on the field on Sunday as he only shot even par on Sunday. He finished at -10 in 37th place. Next up, Chris Kirk barely made the cut, barely made the MDF, and didn't make any moves on the weekend. So he finished at -5 and in 62nd place. Lastly, Nick Taylor played poorly the first 2 days and missed the cut. I'm going to just move on and try to forget about the Puerto Rico Open and hopefully do better this week. So let's actually get on to this week. It's the Shell Houston Open from the Golf Club of Houston in Humboldt, Texas. This tournament has been played here since 2003, so there's a lot of info and trends out there to look at. The course itself is a 7,455-yard par 72 with 4 par 5s and 4 par 3s. There's a wide array of distances on the par 4s, as 4 of them are less than 400 yards, and another 4 of them are more than 460 yards. This, of course, attempts to mimic Augusta National, so they can get some good golfers to play here as a warm-up for next week. Off the tee, golfers will see wide fairways with little to no rough. A few fairway bunkers could snag drives, but the main concern off the tee will probably be water, which is prevalent throughout the course. On approach shots, golfers will see large, elevated greens with the edges shaved down, so balls that hit the edges of the greens will probably roll into a collection area, a bunker, or a water. The greens are fast. They use Bermuda grass overseeded with bent and rye. These greens will actually play more like bent grass. Some stats I'm looking for are going to be strokes gained tee to green, par 4 scoring, proximity, birdie or better percentage, and driving distance. I'm weighing these stats at 55% on the spreadsheet this week. I'll be weighing current form at 25% and course history at 20%. Weather definitely could be an issue as high winds are the norm and rain is in the forecast as of now for Sunday. Now, let's get on to the picks. First up, it's going to be Ricky Fowler at $10,000. And after missing the cut in his first PGA Tour event of the year, Ricky's been reeling off 4 consecutive top 16 finishes, including a win at the Honda. In those 4 events, he's gained nearly 26 strokes on the field from tee to green. Strokes gained tee to green is my highest weighted stat, so that bodes well for his chances this week, hopefully, as long as he can keep it up. He's long off the tee, plays par 4 as well, and has been putting extremely solid so far this year. He struggled a bit his first few times at the Golf Club of Houston, but recently he has 2 top 10s in his last 3 tries here. He didn't play in the grueling match play last week, so he should be rested, and I like him to contend. Excuse me. Next up, it's going to be J.B. Holmes at $9,200. Holmes has made his last 11 cuts on tour and is a long bomber I'm looking for this week with the wide fairways and the light rough, just hitting it out there a mile. As long as you don't hit it in the water, you're good to go. He's played well on this course, making his last 5 cuts with 4 top 12s, including a second-place finish and a win here his last time out in 2015. His game has really been rounding into shape lately as he's gained over 17 strokes on the field from tee to green in his last 4 tournaments. He did play the match play last week, but was eliminated early, so he's had plenty of time to rest. I expect his success at this course to continue this week. Next up, it's going to be Rafael Cabrera Bello at $7,900. RCB definitely seems underpriced for me this week. He hasn't missed a cut worldwide in almost 11 months. That's 24 straight tournaments in a row without a missed cut. And it's not like he's been barely making the cut and finishing poorly. In those 24 starts, he's finished inside the top 10 in 8 of those starts. That's 33% of his last 24 times he's teed it off that he's finished in the top 10. That's pretty solid, especially for somebody at $7,900. Stat-wise, he plays par 4s well, hits a lot of greens, and is a solid putter. Again, another golfer who didn't play the weekend last week, so he should be rested. He finished 4th here last year in his Shell Houston Open debut, and I think he can get another top 10 this week. All right, my final pick. It's going to be Patrick Reed at $7,700. You know, Reed hasn't really been playing too well lately, but this guy just makes every cut. He's made his last 23 cuts on tour. That's 47 straight cuts combined by Rafael Cabrera-Bello and Patrick Reed, 2 golfers who are under $8,000. That's cash game value right there, if there ever is any. This course should suit him and his natural draw off the tee, and he's played well here in the past with a couple of top 17s the last 2 years. This is Patrick Reed. It's not some no-name golfer. His possible upside is there. He's the 12th ranked golfer in the world. So even though he hasn't been playing well lately, he can easily pop up at any time. That's how good this guy really is. He can easily turn his game around on this course, and at the bare minimum, I expect him to at least make the cut. So let's recap my cash game cornerstones for this week. They're going to be Ricky Fowler at $10,000, J.B. Holmes at $9,200, Rafael Cabrera-Bello at $7,900, and Patrick Reed at $7,700. Now, if you're looking for a sub 7K guy who I think is going to be safe for cash, take a peek at Bernd Weisberger. He's made 14 consecutive cuts worldwide with 9 top 11s in that span. He's hot right now, and at $6,700, that's really, really cheap. He even made the cut here last year. So that's it for me this week. Make sure you get on to thefantasyfanatics.com and check out all the features they have, from the lineup builder to the spreadsheet to the strategy center. The spreadsheet now has FanDuel and fantasy draft prices as well, so make sure you take a peek at that if you play those sites. Also, look for me on the Pat Mayo Hours Masters Super Show coming out in a couple of days. Should be fun to get back on with Pat, and we'll be talking Masters and DraftKings for next week. Good luck. Let's win some money, and I'll see you all next week.